All right, Ranch. Hey, it's March already,
RPV.
25, right? Inside the gates. Now, here's interesting. We're already starting to finally get some data coming in that are kind of telling the story, maybe speaking truth to the story of how bad Q4 really was last year at the end after the election cycle, the whole thing, right? To be expected. But now we finally have some points. And are they going to tell the story that 25 is the hot rocket bottle cannon that we thought it was going to be, or are the numbers telling a little bit different tune?
Yeah, interesting. And in preparation, maybe adjacent to that, new loan programs coming out, especially on the wholesale side here, that are helping a lot of different buyers who were kind of sidelined before now have an opportunity to take advantage.
We are your personal RPV team, like to self-anoint for that. 3 listings in the ranch right now. So here's the thing, gang, okay? So what we're seeing right now writ large, I'm not going to go through, let me just summarize this I'll do you a little favor, right? So writ large, we're seeing more properties coming on the market, okay? Not necessarily true inside the 19 streets. Like I said at the top, we got 3 new one came back on, and then 2 more trying to find suitors right now. So 3 in the ranch right now. Maybe a couple of lots. See, we still see some lot signs up there a little bit. So maybe a couple lots, but big picture is, if you kind of pan back and you find ourselves inside that truth, more listings, more days on market, less closings right now, okay? And an overall softening in the picture of price, which is interesting, because if you quick snapshot back, 23, with the crazy rates that we were dealing with and the panic in the economy, we still made like almost 10% countywide. Last year, almost the same. I think we made 8 or 9%. So we've been super resilient, just chugging along in the price game. And I think it finally met its pressure point. So we're actually down a little bit right now overall in price. And you're probably seeing some of that, right? Like if you're staying in tune to the free apps and the download, and you're humming and pecking through the Zillows and the
what app were you on right there?
Whatever one works. There's about 200 of them, I'm sure, right? The de jour. You'll notice now days on market's tricking up, right? A lot of open houses. What does that mean? Well, that means they haven't found a suitor yet, right? And you're starting to see, of course, the trailing of that, which is price adjustments. So I think the moment right now is meeting the fact that I think overall people are excited. People, not saying you individually, there's a lot of chaos going on right now, but people overall are more optimistic about the future of the economy and the real estate market writ large, but we're not seeing it necessarily grab its foothold yet. We're watching the new administration come through, and they're doing all their policies, and they're kind of shaking some. I almost think of it metaphorically like it's like a puddle, right? And like a lot of people kind of stepping in it right now, and it's making it muddy and murky. And whenever things are muddy and murky, what that means is that buyers get the alligator arms. And they're a little less likely to pop out that check and stroke all the problems away with a big fat check for a potential seller. So watch this now as it begins to take form. I'm still very bullish and optimistic on 25, and I think that our market is particularly poised for that, because we are seeing an uptick in a lot of the upper level action in our county. So like 500 and below is actually trending and trailing down a little bit statistically wise. And then 750 is kind of like our little sweet spot. And then the million and up is actually starting to tick up quicker, which is a little bit asymmetrical, right? Normally you see the bottom and then the top. It's actually flip-flopped. It's inverse right now. We're seeing more action quicker in the new year in the 7 figures and above.
I'm definitely seeing that on the buyer's side too. So from the money perspective, like what the heck is going on out there? Lenders are slowing down, just like the real estate transaction, and they're all sitting there, what are we gonna do, right?
It's not a bad thing.
No, and so they get hungry.
That's
what do they do when they get hungry? They start opening up new programs. One of the avenues that's really opened up are self-employed, business owner type situations. Even if you change structures, corporations, lots of weird little kinks that might not work in the conventional arena, we're starting to see open up in what is called non-conventional loans. And back in the old days, you used to have to pay a ton more, right? So you're talking punitive. 10, 11, 12%. Well, now they have these programs that are just sitting right on top of conventional lending. Really good rates, really good products, easy to do, and especially for those big dollar amounts, because those lenders are hungry right now. So actually, folks in the ranch are in a special position where lenders want you. And so it's really cool to be in that spot right now where we've got tons of opportunity. So if you sat on the sideline because you think, hey, my situation doesn't work, it's worth checking in because it just might.
And I think the other thing too, we'll end on this, is that the big zeitgeist of the moment right now are all the fire insurance policies. And definitely us out there in the ranch, we're atop that list. So the most asked question we're getting in our home seller workshop classes right now is like, I might as well just change it to like fire insurance 101 right now, because that seems to be what everybody's, and as they should be. So we actually have to engineer it in. Think of it almost the same way you would think of like an appraisal that needs to get done, or a home inspection that's got to pass muster. Like we're front loading now, making sure that we have suitable binders in place with insurance companies that are willing and still able to want to work with us here in the ranch. And so if that's not on your radar, make sure you put it on the radar for a successful 25.